Welcome to the latest edition of THRS D-Cups. I'm Andrew.
I'm Dave.
Tim.
Sorry, we're running a bit behind tonight. That's my fault. I've had one hell of a day, which I'm sure we'll get to that in a minute. But before we get to all that sort of stuff, tonight we're going to be chatting about the latest from Silent Skies and Jolly Joker. We're going to chat about a little classic album from Incubus. And we'll have some new singles to talk about and some general, happenings, whatever else to get through as well. Make sure you like, follow, subscribe. If you can do any of those things to help us get the algorithms working for us, quote unquote, that'd be greatly appreciated. All the details you need for that are in the description box of this episode, wherever you're tuning in from. And pick your favorite platform and just give us a like or something. Anything like that would be greatly appreciated. And while you're there, check out the details as well for our fantastic sponsors in Squidding, Screen Printing, Old Cult, and Rockstar Finance. A big thank you to them. Like I said, their details, just like ours, are in the description box. So please, just give them a follow or a like. Would be greatly appreciated as well. But it's another jam-packed episode to get through tonight. There's going to be a lot on going on here. We're going to change the order a bit tonight because Tim's going to leave us a little bit earlier than usual. And that's pretty much where we're at. If you are on Instagram, you can join in, you can watch us. Just be aware that you can't leave comments on Instagram that we can see. So if you want to get involved in the conversation, jump to a different platform. But otherwise, everyone else, you're all good. Keep commenting away, which we've got some coming through here, which is lovely. I'll get to those in a second. Let's do the rounds first. Tim, let's go to you first. How are you going since you'll be leaving us early?
Yeah, pretty good. Just back at work and doing shit again.
Yeah.
Enjoying being outside.
Yeah. All cleared, all good. Everything's hunky-dory.
Yeah, back to normal.
Awesome. Well, there you go.
Cool.
Good news. Good news. What about yourself, Dave?
Yeah, not much has changed since Monday. Just work, family. There's been a couple of COVID cases in my son's class at school, but they're doing the twice weekly rat test. So keeping an eye on him, but he tested negative yesterday. So it's a good system. They're keeping the schools open and they're keeping the year levels open. Unlike last year, if one had a case, they'd be all in remote learning again for a couple of weeks. So, we're dealing with it. Just keep an eye on everyone. But apart from that, the only really big news that's been happening. Work is same as always, getting back into the routine. Music's good. Planning the barbecue this weekend, so having anxiety because I haven't had one for a while. How you been?
Yeah, good. Like I said before, I've had a hell of a day. I mean, everything up and from Monday to today is pretty much normal fare. It's just been really, really flat out. A lot of work at the day job and a lot of stuff to do at home when we come back in and get stuck into the grind here as well. So just haven't been able to quite catch up with things. But that'll happen over the next 24 hours. I'll start catching up again. But yeah, today was a bit of a curveball because our cooling in the house died a couple of weeks ago now. We noticed that it really conked out. So we organised a repairman, and as it is this time of year and everyone with COVID and all that sort of stuff, it's a bit longer to get these things dealt with than it should be. But we finally had a technician here today, and because he was doing all sorts of things and trimming power circuits and all sorts of stuff till I got home, had about a half hour of power, and then it was like off until about an hour before I needed to jump in here and get things ready for this. So it was just like, okay. So jumped into I gave you guys a link to jump into tonight, and I'm still furiously working out my notes for this session here. But otherwise, no, it's been all good. Just that one little hiccup, and that's not a bad thing. At least now with the hot weekend coming up that you referenced, you having the barbecue, at least we'll actually have working cooling. So I'm like, okay, that's a win. So I'll take the short-term pain for the overall gain for what it's worth. So for the Patreon followers that usually get an update from me today, sorry, that's why it hasn't come through today because I had no power until about 6:30, 7 o'clock, and then it's like, okay, go and get some dinner and then sit down and do the work. But really, it's a first world problem, so whatever. It's not much to complain about aside from that. Everything's pretty good. Let's go to the comments here. Rowan over on YouTube, giving us the horns as always. Thank you for joining us once again. Same with Nicole over on YouTube. Good to see you here again as well. Love the regulars, so thanks for jumping in. Sally on Facebook, another one. Good to see you here. Thanks for jumping in. Dean, hey lads, hope all we're keeping well. Well, you just had that. Hope the same for you as well. And same with Michael over on Facebook too. Thank you for joining us. Good to get some people here. Looking forward to the conversations we'll be having tonight. I guess without any further ado, we'll start getting into it. Here we go. Another comment. Alan, good to see you here on Facebook. Hope all is well. Yes, all good. Hope the same for you as well. Thanks for joining us tonight. Always good to get more people. My screen's doing funny things now. I can't quite see comments. It's all doing, I don't know what's going on here at the moment. But anyway, I'll try and work that out later on. It's one of those days, so fuck it. I'm just going to keep moving on, get things done. All righty. Let's go to our first. You'll have to sit for a minute there, Tim. Tim's going to sit there and look pretty for us for a few minutes while Dave and I go through the first few singles, and then Tim will jump in for the last single. He's going to stay here, but he can jump into the conversation if he feels like it. It's just, listen to these few songs. So I was like, okay, it is what it is. But in the comments and in the description of the episode box, you're going to find a link to Treat and their new single, Home of the Brave. It's in the comments now. It's in the description box. So make sure you check it out. We have a quick little chat about this new single from the band. So what'd you make of it, Dave?
Yeah, this was cool. Kicks off with some moody, dramatic keys, and I thought, oh, this might be a bit melancholy. But then it shifts gears with some heavy melodic guitar, and then it kicks into what the song will be. I'm not really familiar with this band. I haven't heard all that much from them. But if you like your melodic, mid-tempo melodic rock, then this is something to check out. And it's got a good hook to the chorus. The solo is really cool. Like that little volume swell that he does after the solo. That was just a little bit of guitar wankery. It gives a little bit of icing on the cake. But overall, cool song. Well worth a listen.
Nice. Well, this is coming. That's a Swedish melodic rock band. It's their 9th studio album. This is from, and that is called The End Game. That'll be released on April the 8th, 2022. Now, we've reviewed a few of their albums, I think, in the past, particularly back in sort of the Jimmy and Dennis days. And if you like European melodic rock, this is going to be definitely in that market for you. But I think for me, because it is a very loaded market, shall we say. There's a lot of bands doing this sort of music. These guys are definitely one of the better ones out there. There's always the hook with this sort of music. The chorus is, I don't know, it's really infectious. There's a great hook and the rhythm in there. If it doesn't get you at least toe tapping, there's, something not quite right. It's one of those songs just guaranteed to get you sort of moving. Heaps of melody, heaps of energy. It's really infectious. I think they've balanced out what you want from that sort of melodic rock AOR style with a bit more bite to it. There's a nice guitar solo in here as well. I think that even if you're not normally a fan of melodic rock, this is a song you can check out because there's enough in this to sort of, it's got some bit more meat on the bone. So I really did enjoy this one. I think it's a good little taste of things to come. So hopefully the album's like that. It'll be an absolute cracker if it is. So there we go. A couple of comments from Dean. So Dean said, no stress, Andrew, how busy you are. You're allowed a free day. I try. Thanks, mate. But he's also said on that song, I really like Treat, a decent single release. Looking forward to more. Okay, cool. Well, obviously you'll get the updates as soon as I get them as well over there in the Patreon crowd. Next up, Australian band or Australian Irish band kind of thing. Flickertail is up next. But Belle, good to see you here, Belle. Thanks for joining us. Classy Anthem. It is a very nice track, that one. And Belle, I will get back to you tomorrow. I promise. I've just had a shit day. But anyway, in the comments now in the description, you're going to find Flickertail, Evidence of Life. That is the latest single from an Australian/Irish band that's coming from a posthumous release because the band have actually broken up, but they've got one more release coming out. So, Dave, I'm keen to get your thoughts on this one because I picked up a bit of a Thin Lizzy vibe on this. Did you get the same?
Got a little bit like that, the whole harmonized melodic rock. But it's a shame to hear they're broken up because they're a pretty good band. They covered Heroes, didn't we? We did that a couple of weeks ago.
Yep.
But yeah, I like what I've heard from this band so far. It's a shame. If you guys are listening, reconsider, please. This has got a really cool old school rock vibe. It's fun. It's upbeat. I gave this a few spins over and over. It's infectious. I like the way the lyrics are delivered. The story unfolds, and it's a song that people can relate to. And I like, it starts off with a line, there's some music, and he just gets into the story. I thought that was a very cool song. There's a good swing to the drums. The guitar work is cool, and I like the phrases and the guitar solo. That all just sounded really great. But yeah, this is a cool song.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was funny because for me, I got a bit of a Thin Lizzy vibe. Just the way that there's the groove and the rhythm to it, along with the twin guitar work. It's not an overblown thing. It's not like they're cloning it or ripping it off. It's just that there's a vibe to this one that reminds me of that band. And the storytelling. Yeah, the storytelling. That was the thing too about it. The lyrics in this one are really cool. It's a good story. It's really it sucks you in really nicely, which is a good little thing for a single do while the dog loses his mind for a second there. I don't know what he's barking at because he can't get out, but all right. Sorry for anyone out there that just had the ears blown out. Now, the new EP is called Afterlife. I've got no idea when it's coming out. This is apparently all recorded live in the studio. So this track and the Heroes one, there's no sort of no cut and paste things, no overdubs. It's just sort of, it's in the studio, it's raw, it is what it is. So they've done a really good job with that one there too. So, like you said, we did cover the Bowie classic Heroes, the cover they did there. But this one, I don't know. I liked this one. It's not anything completely original, but it's the storytelling, it's the vibe, it's the way it sounds, that little heat to the mix. I just really enjoy this one. If you like harmony, a good riff, and a good story, this is a song you got to check out. I reckon this is one to keep your eye on. I'm going to be very, very keen to listen to the full EP once it gets released. Not sure when, but I'm hanging out for it. So hopefully sooner rather than later. All righty, let's go back to the comments for a second. Forward to the next one. Benjamin, good to see you here. Sup, lads? Thanks for joining us once again. Nice to have you back. And Michael's jumped in. Good to see you here, Michael. Another Michael. He's gone. I can see the Thin Lizzy vibe. Music sounds great. Awesome. Check out, if you like that, check out their cover of Heroes. That's really, really good as well.
That was really good.
All right. You should all know by now we have gear changes as we move through these little things here. Dean's gone, can hear Thin Lizzy too. Good song. Very nice. Awesome. Cool. All righty. Next up is the latest from another Australian band in RedHook. Their new single is Low Budget Horror. You're going to find a link for that in the comments and in the description box as well. So make sure you check it out and give us your thoughts whenever you get around to it. But Dave, how did you go with this one?
Low Budget Horror. You got my attention. Fuck. This is cool.
It's true.
I don't even have to listen to this. It's fucking cool. No, but this is cool. Right from the start, you got some nice heavy guitar tone, and the vocals are fucking great. She's got such a powerful voice, and it shifts from something that's delivered in an almost popish way with a bit of sass, for lack of a better term. But and then she bursts into these little sections of harsh. It goes from one to the other seamlessly. But it was very cool and it fit the song perfectly. And it was just the right moments. And the lyrics are just witty and clever, and the whole thing is just well done. And the video is fucking brilliant. So if you like, I wouldn't even know how to really describe a genre for this band. I just think they're good. And if you like the tongue-in-cheek humor of trashy horror, then you're really going to appreciate this song.
Yeah. It is hard to put these guys into a bracket. What they do when they mix the pop and the metal worlds together is pretty unique from what I have heard out of Australian bands so far. This is one of those ones that puts me in mind of, if you were thinking about an international region to send them to because you think it'd go well, I'd send them over to like Japan, China, that kind of thing, the whole Southeast Asia. It feels like it'd be perfect for that. It could go well in America too, but it's just got this really fun, like there's this almost sugar sweet kind of a vibe to the vocals, but then that's just as flipped on its head when Emmy, who's the vocalist, you can hear her on Triple J. She's got a show on Triple J as well, but they keep doing new things, but her vocal is different because she hasn't really growled like she has on this track until now. So it's an evolution for the band. So I thought that was a really neat little thing to have added to the repertoire now. And they just keep writing really catchy songs with a lot of aggression. And they're doing it better than a lot of other bands out there. I would say they're probably, if you're into the newer, metal genres today, this is one of the better bands to check out. I mean, worldwide. Like, they do something different. It sounds good, and they release new music pretty fucking regularly. So all the power to them. I reckon they're going really, really well. And I don't know, like I said, they've got that sweet element. Emmy's got this knack for doing the pop vocal, but when they kick into gear, when the riff comes in and the heavy, intense vocals come into it, it's really, really, really cool. I really did enjoy this one a lot too. Like, I haven't heard a bad song from these guys yet, and we've checked out quite a few, so I'm very, very happy with this one. I think that, if you like it catchy and heavy, give it a go. It's something a bit different, but I like it. If you like that mix of pop and metal, which very few bands can do well, this is one you got to check out. So please do, and let us know how you go with that. Got some comments coming through on it too, which is cool. Bell says, a bit teen rock, but actually a great song. Really liked it. Nice. Michael says, sounds great.
Cool.
Dean says, great band. Keep releasing singles for a while, boosting their socials, put them with the Last Martyr. Yeah, it's that they're the two bands that are closest to each other in this field. Michael says, RedHook is such a great band live. They've had a really good marketing strategy the way they release singles more than a full EP or album release. The Bad Decisions EP was a surprise that came out of nowhere after releasing a lot of singles prior. They are a great band to see live. Yeah, that EP, the Bad Decisions EP, we reviewed that, Tim. We both really enjoyed that. So,
yep,
that was cool. Adam's gone, old mate is catching a few Zeds. Can I take his spot on the panel? Well, he's going to get back into things in a second here. So let's move on to the last single before we get into the topics and our first review of the night here. Abbath, Dread Reaver. Here we go. So that is in the comments. It's in the description. It is the latest from Abbath. We're going to talk about this one now. Let's go to you first, Sim. Been sitting there. Let's wake you up and get your thoughts on this new track from this awesome artist.
I think it's time we can officially say that Andrew is black metal curious.
Yes. Very now.
Very much so. I love this track, and what I loved about it is that for the black metal connoisseur, Abbath is a bit of a cult hero. But from the outside looking in, Abbath can be a bit of a joke.
Yeah, I get that.
And I hate that.
I don't agree.
I really hate that there's something that you really love and it just gets the piss taken out of it by people who have no idea what the fuck they're talking about. And I love that he's just released a crushingly brutal track that is just dead as fuck. And it's great.
Yep.
Because it is no casual person can listen to this song. And I love it.
Yeah.
And I hope the whole album is like this.
Honestly, before spoiler alert, so do I. But yeah, I Is that all you wanted to say about that? Or you got
I love it.
You love it? All right. So Dave is a little less black metal curious than I am, speaking. So how did you go with it, Dave?
Yeah, I remember when I was in my 20s, and the way to find new music was radio, metal programs. You would chuck them on late at night.
Yep.
And then a new song would come on. If you have a fucking great riff, some killer drums, the band would be locked in. It'd be, you'd be into it. Then the fucking vocals would start, and it'd be a death growl or screamo, and it would sound like every other fucking band in the genre. And I prefer clean vocals because it's like the icing on the cake. You can distinguish one band from the other. It makes it personal. So, as expected with this, the riffs were cool, the drumming was awesome, and there's actually some groove to this, which I was surprised by because I'm not a big death metal person or black metal person. But the groove was cool, and the drums and the guitars really fit together well. So I liked that. And the vocals start, I'm just like, oh fuck. But then I'm starting to get syllables and parts of words. So I'm just like, okay, I'll venture. I Googled the lyrics. So I'm sitting there looking at the lyric sheet, which are fucking laughable, to be honest. The lyrics in these songs are terrible.
Yeah. Abbath is a unique individual.
Yeah, unique's a word. But, I'm listening as I'm reading the words, and it's starting to make sense. I can actually hear what he's saying. So with a bit of effort, I could actually kind of enjoy this. It's not as bad as I was expecting it to be. And Tim was saying the casual fan can't listen to it. Well, I kind of could.
There we go.
Yeah.
I've heard worse. I really have heard worse in the black metal genre. This is okay, and it's kind of accessible. I've heard worse. I've heard better bands in general, but I've heard worse black metal. So it wasn't as terrible as I was expecting it to be. And if I wanted to make the effort with the album, I could sit there with the lyric sheet and maybe take in a couple of songs. We'll see when it comes out. But it wasn't
next month.
What's that?
Next month.
Yeah.
Next month? Okay.
About 6 weeks away. So.
6 weeks away.
Be careful what you reach for.
Well, for anything more you wanted to add there, Dave, or is that where you?
No, that's it.
So, for long-time viewers, Jimmy was the one who was banging on about Abbath at the first album. So, I've reviewed all of the quote-unquote solo albums that he's released since his split. And there's something about Abbath which is different and I think really cool. And even though we've established that I'm quote-unquote black metal curious, he has a knack for making this genre really appealing to me, and I think a few other people. But I've got a few comments here that are going to disagree, so we'll see how things are going. But this to me, it's not the full-blown, black metal stuff that people think of. There's a bit of it's a crappy term to use, but like black and roll about it kind of thing. Like there's a real rock and roll element to the way this is done. It's like black metal meets Motorhead for me, and that little crossover vibe is really cool. And the way these songs are delivered, see, I get into the gimmick. I think it's really cool. I love that you can see that he loves what he's doing, and that's enough for me. I don't need all of the getting lost in the forest clips to go with all this other stuff. So this one, I don't know. There's something about this that stands out. It's different. It's heavy. Don't get me wrong. I'm not going to sit here and say, it's, all melodic and stuff. It's not. It's heavy, it's aggressive, it's all those things, but I just love the groove under it all. These guys, or this band, this group, just the way they use groove on all the releases up till now has been fantastic. And I've enjoyed what they put out. I'm looking forward to the album. So I don't know if Dave's going to review it, but Tim, I'm pretty sure you and I'll sit down and listen to it for sure. I'm definitely keen to check it out. March 25th is when it's due. The album is Dread Reaver, which this is the title track for this one. Yeah, I don't know. There's Bite, there's Darkness, there's solid riffs. I don't know. It's picked up right with the last one. If you're into the genre, you're going to enjoy it. If you're not into the genre, you're probably going to struggle. I don't know how the right point.
I'm telling you, this week's releases, you got to listen to Zeal and Ardor.
I want to. Got to find time.
That's the one.
Yeah. Okay.
It's like a crossover of like black metal and Negro spirituals.
Okay. Cool. I'm sitting going, okay, cool. I'm curious, and Dave's going on.
Trust me, I've got like I don't know. We're not on top 10s. There's a song on there that's on my top 10.
Jesus, wow. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I'm into what Abbath does, so I'm looking forward to what this one's going to be. Yeah.
But there's a thing to be said for black metal is that all these old guys that started the genre aren't into the Napalm Deaths and the Cannibal Corpse. That's not what they listen to. They all listen to they're listening to the Motorheads and the Slayers.
Yeah. And you can hear it, especially as they get older, I reckon.
I mean, even like
you can hear it in other ones too. But
even like Death Crush, the very first Mayhem EP, is just 3-chord rock riffs throughout the whole thing. It's very Motorhead.
I think the syncopation, the 3-chord riffs, but also the drum patterns have a lot to do with it. It's just something about it that makes it flow for me, anyway. It's funny how far down the rabbit hole of this genre I've been falling into. Most of it's Tim's fault, so I'm going to say that on the record. But it's definitely there. All right. But no, if you like this sort of stuff, this is one you got to check out. So I'm looking forward to the album. It'll be a good little challenge for Dave later on, I think, but I'm pretty sure Tim and I are both going to enjoy it. So we'll see what happens when it comes time for that release list of that week. All righty, let's get some comments coming through here. We've got a few. What do we got here? So Benjamin says, I can definitely dig Dark Funeral and Behemoth, so that's cool. But Michael is agreeing with Dave this time. He agrees. He couldn't listen to it, so there we go. Benjamin says, I've received multiple bans for sharing Burzum songs, so there we go.
Yeah, but like, Varg's an idiot.
Yeah, well, there we go. What do we got? Lee. Hello, Lee. Good to see you, buddy. He's gone, I just joined at work. Where are the Electric State boys tonight? Expecting repeat shenanigans. So that will be fun for Monday night. So if you're around, let us know, guys.
They're cozying up with Party Cannon.
Yes, definitely. They're all having a hangout and watching us and probably ripping on us now. Sally's gone interesting. Check it out. Lee agrees Zeal and Ardor is awesome, nice. And Benjamin says Watain are probably still lost in a random forest somewhere right now.
Watain are fucking awesome. I was listening to Lawless Darkness the other day. Still one of the best bands we've ever seen live.
Yeah.
And one of the bands that don't use fake blood live.
Yes.
According to promoters, I've heard they do have. The stage stinks as well. So.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Enjoy. Referring back to Burzum, when you said
it's fair, yes. having said that first War EP is a great listen.
Cool. All right, let's have some fun. Let's move on to the different conversation points. And I've got a couple of things to talk about tonight. One is that, and I don't think we'll spend too long on this. We really shouldn't, but I just want to acknowledge it more than anything else. Is that the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame nominees have been announced yet again. This time of year comes around, and everyone loses their collective fucking shit on social media. So my take on it is just fucking ignore the goddamn institution. Pretty straightforward for mine. But Dave, sorry, what do you think of this whole? It happens every year.
Yeah, same shit every year. I don't pay much attention to it anymore. It's a fucking joke. I tried to vote for Lizzie a few years ago, but it just got, But, I know people say awards don't mean anything, and you got a successful career, you got fans who enjoy your music, you can tour. Occasionally, it's nice to get recognized. So I understand why people, want to be in the Hall of Fame. But, first up, they got to change the fucking name. It's not the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. It's the Popular Music Hall of Fame. Okay? Mick Jagger is rapped. You're not going to put the Rolling Stones in the Hip Hop Hall of Fame. No, Metallica's Mama Said is almost country. You're not going to put Metallica in the fucking Country Hall of Fame. So change the name for starters. Apart from that, there's a whole bunch of artists that should be and aren't in there. Maiden, Priest, Motorhead, Soundgarden, Ozzy, Dio, King Crimson, T-Rex, Pantera, Thin Lizzy, New York Dolls, Alice in Chains, Bad Company, INXS, Faith No More, Jethro Tull, Megadeth, Motley Crue, and Oasis. Now, I don't like all those bands, but fucking credit where they're due. You gotta change the criteria and not do it by personal bias and politics. Kiss were eligible for a very long time before they even got nominated. It's obvious that somebody there doesn't like them. But, I couldn't care less about the Hall of Fame. I think they're a fucking joke. Just like the Grammy.
Yeah. All right. What about you, Tim? Every year.
Well, I am repping Hall of Fame nominee Dolly Parton here.
That's true. That's a good
look, I used to be thinking the name change thing, but the thing is, it's not the Popular Music Hall of Fame. It's the American Popular Music Hall of Fame. There's a big difference.
Yeah, that's true. Good point.
So even a band like Kiss, as big as they are in the US, Kiss still never had that #1 US album. Part of the allure of Kiss is the global fan base. And that's the thing. But the reason why I really don't care is because it's not really a Hall of Fame. It's an event that some promoter cooked up to sell tickets to, and the biggest proof of that is that a Hall of Fame should be hard to get into. Granted, you can say, look at the names that Dave listed off before, and I mean they should be in there, but there are also plenty of bands in there who suck dick. Never did anything outside of a one-hit wonder in the US somewhere because they got played on some bumpkin radio station. That I don't think is very hard to do. I think you could very well put together like I said, I've said it for years. If you want to do a proper Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, you've got to do it by region. You've got to do it with voting, with a mixture of people, be it journalists, performers, current, past, and present, historians, and you've got to make it incredibly hard to get in. I would do like a 70%. Like everybody only gets 10 votes, and you still got to get 70% to make it in. Do it like the Baseball Hall of Fame. It's got to be real hard.
Yeah, the NFL one's pretty good too, the way they set it up. So
that's it. That band that was together for 5 years, had a couple of hits, a couple of good albums, should not be a Hall of Fame band. It's the Hall of Fame, not the Hall of Average.
Yes. Well, actually, good point.
Artists, people that have changed music.
Exactly.
Yeah, it should be hard to get into, definitely.
I've just got an article here, music feeds. Beck, Dolly Parton, Eminem among qualifying nominees. I think Dolly Parton, if you're going to do a Popular Music Hall of Fame, Dolly Parton should be in.
Yeah.
No, if it's popular music, Eminem should be in.
Yeah.
Right? Beck should not be in.
No.
Beck is highly influential, but his run wasn't long enough. Didn't sell enough CDs. Wasn't a big enough draw. Duran should not be in.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't have a long enough reign. Didn't have a draw enough money. We weren't that big of an appeal. That's pretty much it. Like, there's 2 out of 4. Who else is on there? I can't find it. Anyways, but that's my point.
Yeah. All right. So that was you wrapped up on that one?
Trying to find who else is nominated.
I don't know.
Lionel Richie should absolutely be in there.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Right.
If it's going to be the way it is, then yeah.
Carly Simon. I don't know. Carly Simon.
I've heard the name, but
See, A Tribe Called Quest. I fucking love A Tribe Called Quest, but should not be in there. They're a hip hop group as well. Other nominated: Diane Warwick, Pat Benatar, Devo, Kate Bush, Judas Priest. Judas Priest got nominated. Eurythmics, MC5, Fela Kuti, New York Dolls, and Rage Against the Machine. See, like, probably what?
I think Rage Against would be fair.
Rage, Lionel Richie, Eminem, and Dolly Parton. That's 4, and Judas Priest probably.
What we should do, instead of just ripping on the thing every year, when they do these ones, if we're going to take it, if we were voting on it, what we would vote for. You know what I mean? And why? Maybe that should be a better discussion point than just ripping.
See, even Judas Priest I'd put as a borderline.
Oh, I don't know about that, but yeah.
No, I think, well, fuck, I could do that now. I'd vote Thin Lizzy because, one, you wouldn't have Maiden and Priest if you didn't have Thin Lizzy. They are significant.
No, I mean, out of these fans here.
Out of the nominations.
Yeah.
Out of these nominations here, I'd still have Judas Priest as a maybe.
I'd put
just be
in there. Ozzy Osbourne, Black Sabbath, but Ozzy's solo career, fuck, that's undeniable.
Yeah, Ozzy I'd have him.
Yeah, no, yeah, don't know. There's a lot to digest, and if you were going to do it, yeah, you'd have to really sit down and make this one fucking. It's a bit of a shit show. It's a bit of a mess. I would just say that, like, from where I sit. We just won an award for the first time last year, so it's really nice to win an award. Don't get me wrong; it's nice to be recognised, especially by your peers, kind of thing. It's really, it's actually a really nice experience. I wasn't really one that bought into it a lot. You guys all know the conversations we had behind the scenes about it beforehand, but then once it actually comes, it's like, oh fuck, it actually, it feels pretty good. So I'm not going to begrudge anyone wanting to win an award. I think that's a good thing to have if you can get it. I just think that for me, the observational point is that every year everyone just goes bang, bang, bang about it and all, and it all just becomes a big fucking... It is a marketing fest. Like, you sell a bunch of tickets because you generate a whole bunch of controversy about who's eliminated, by who's nominated and who's not. Every single time it happens every year. I think a better conversation would be, make some criteria, what we would put the criteria to be, and then go from there and see how you go with it. So maybe we should do an alternative like Hall of Fame in February 2023 or something like that. I don't know, something that's a bit of fun. But yeah, I think that at this point in time, if you're going to do nothing but complain about this online, then I think that effort is better spent by promoting the magazines and radio shows and other people, independent people that do so much good things to promote music. So instead of putting a post up that berates the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, put a post up that says, instead of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, go and check out this podcast that you really enjoy because, that'd be a better way to find new music or find people that know what they're talking about and listen to classic stuff. Or, there's heaps. There's all sorts of YouTubers. I'm not talking about us. I'm just saying it just be anyone that you enjoy paying attention to for this sort of stuff. I think that's a better use for energy. But I think, we should maybe have a different conversation because it comes up every year. Maybe we should do something leading up to it and go, okay, that time of year, maybe in January, start going, okay, who would you put in there? I think that we've got some comments going through. All right, cool. I'll get to the comments in a second. But, I think we should maybe have some fun with this one in the next year and go, okay, what would we put in there instead? And let's sort of make some criteria and see what would make it in and what would not make it in. Just for a bit of fun, just to do something different. Just see what happens. We got a conversation started on this one though. Benjamin, being Benjamin, said Lars could almost qualify for the Midget Hall of Fame. So there's just to change gears up there.
He's about to sue you, man.
Yeah, probably. And probably us for reading it out. Dean has said, how many years do you have to be as a band artist in the run for the Rock and Hall of Fame? I don't know the answer to that, but Marco, thank you for joining us on Facebook. Looks like it's 25 years from your debut album. So there you go. And Benjamin's having good fun laughing. Sorry, Dave. He's gone, and I just bought my guitar. Another one that makes 33 guitars. Have fun with those, mate. Nice. Dean says, credit to everyone who has been in the Hall of Fame, but definitely so many rock and metal bands need to be added that haven't been yet. Sally says, Duran is there, but not Aussie. Fuck. Yes, but Dolly, though. Yeah. Okay. Speaking of which, it was 33 degrees here in New Zealand today. Total bullshit. Hey, come to Australia. It's a lot hotter.
33 degrees in New Zealand is quite hot.
It is, though. I do agree. Jeff says, is album sales a determining factor for Hall of Fame? I hope that is not the criteria. Sad state of affairs if that is. I don't think it is. I think it's a really...
the criteria is who's available and who can sell some tickets.
That's about right. I agree. Yeah.
If you know, like, I think it's Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young, Neil Young by himself, Crosby, Stills and Nash, and Nash and Young are all in as separate acts. It's like Triple H, DX, NWO, Hulk Hogan, all in separately.
Yes. LWO. Don't forget the LWO.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I mean, sure.
It's coming back if you use that one. Dean says Judas Priest definitely should be in there with everything they have done. How is Ozzy not in? That's a good question. Ozzy should be definitely in there.
Dio.
Here's a question. Tim, our Tim, TC, good to see you, buddy. He's gone, hi, guys. I know we're metal and hard rock fans, but Rage Against the Machine have no place in there. Great band, but what do they really do other than be different at the time?
Let's check out Rage Against the Machine album sales.
Yeah, not only that, but I wouldn't even do that. I'd just go,
okay, I think they're one of the most influential bands of all time.
Yeah, Zeitgeist. They picked
I'd say Battle of Los Angeles is one of the most important albums of all time culturally. I'd say, like, how many bands have had the singer speak on the floor of the UN?
Yeah, he's addressed Congress too, hasn't he? I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say Tom Morello is honestly one of the best guitar players I've ever seen live.
Incredibly.
I've seen him with Rage Against the Machine. I've seen him with Bruce Springsteen, and I've seen him with Prophets of Rage. The guy's fucking unbelievable.
Yep.
And like I said, they've had a 10-year career, 4 albums. Their reunion tour in 2009 was one of the biggest shows of all time. When they headlined Australia here, the big day out, they nearly had to close the big day out because it was nearly a riot when they played. And when they played their solo shows, the show I was at, I could swear to God, it was the most dangerous mosh pit I've ever been in.
Wow.
That was the only time I ever thought I could get hurt.
Wow.
In a pit. And, they are an unbelievable band.
Yeah. I would put them in. What about you, Dave? Anything to say to that? Or are you...
No, here's what I will say. It's the same thing with a lot of Hall of Fames. A lot of Hall of Fames will discredit newer bands because they think it's just not as good as what the old guys did. You know, Ken Griffey Jr. is not as good as Babe Ruth.
Yeah.
You know, Okada's not as good as Ric Flair.
Yeah.
It's that, you know, Brett Favre's not as good as John Elway. And quite often that's not the truth. Yeah.
No, very, very true. It is a good point there. I would agree. I'd put them in just because of the zeitgeist when they came through the vibe that it shook the foundations of the music industry and what it meant to cross politics and music. That was a big deal at the time. I just think cultural impact wise, despite
Killing in the Name of will always be one of the greatest protest songs of all time.
Yep, it will be. It will be. It's been subverted and used how many different times by how many different organizations, but it rings true for all of them because it's a universally appropriatable song.
That's what's amazing is that there's a bunch of guys who think that, you know, fuck you, I won't do what you tell me is referring to like their mum or something.
Yeah.
Like, no. This is an anarcho-communist band singing about the government.
Yeah, but also things like Bulls on Parade and stuff. Like they wrote some heavy lyrical material too. Like it, yeah, I would definitely put them in there. They were influential as fuck. Marco has jumped in saying, "How about a THRS Hall of Fame? Fuck it, why not?" Okay. It'd be tricky. We could try and work out something.
That was my idea, was to get journalists from around the world and industry people and to vote on countries.
Yeah.
So if you're in Australia, because I mean, you know, how do I put this? If there's an Australian Music Hall of Fame, Skyhook should be in it.
Yes.
Skyhooks
definitely.
aren't making a global Hall of Fame.
No.
But without a band like Skyhooks, there is no Australian music industry.
Yeah. It's true. Yep. Probably say the same thing for the Angels. They don't think they'd make a worldwide.
Exactly.
Yeah. Definitely. Let's discuss that, and we'll flesh something out over the next sort of 12 months. See what we can come up with. Michael's gone best I've heard for a while. Andrew Marshall, good to see you, buddy. He's gone. Surely Aussie is culturally significant. No, I will completely agree with that. We're getting a lot of love for this Hall of Fame idea. Sally's gone. Yes, Marco, great idea. Dean's gone. Is the big four metal bands in the Hall of Fame? I don't think Slayer are in there.
But not. Metallica is. I'm not sure about Slayer, and I doubt Anthrax is.
There you go. She's still going. TC's gone. Album sales and influence are the main criteria. Then surely Priest gets in first. We think they're in, but yeah.
And
Maiden, yeah. Rowan's gone. Thinking back to when Andrew started topic, I don't think we'll have much to say about this. Yeah, well, that's true, mate. I'm sorry. I didn't think we'd go this far. Jeff's made a valid point here. Where would Guns N' Roses be without Rose Tattoo? I completely agree. But how many people like Rose Tattoo? It'd be interesting to see if they would make a worldwide Hall of Fame or if that's a region lock. That one.
I don't think they would.
I think that'd be a region lock. Andrew's got a good point here. My Wall of Fame is currently occupying 8 walls with all his photography work. Sorry, that's awesome stuff there. If you haven't checked out his photography work, then please do. It's fucking great. And Sally's going, it's just gone Metallica. So, okay, just Metallica out of the big four. So, there we go.
But then again, like if you're a heavy metal band, I don't get why you give a shit.
I agree. I just think it's nice to win an award because, you know, you get to do things like this. You get to show off and go, look what we got. So nice and pretty. So there is, you know, some gratification involved, I guess, in any way, shape, or form. Alrighty, other conversation point before our first review of 3 tonight. Marco's confirmed that Slayer, Megadeth, and Anthrax aren't in there, and Dean's also said, I agree with Gunners and Roasters to comment. Yes, so that's very, very true as well. Alrighty, so we're going to do something different now, and this is I want to try and make this a monthly thing at the cycle of the month, so either the last week or the first week of the month. We'll talk about what's impressed us in the month that's just passed and what we're looking forward to in the month coming up as well. So something new, so we're a little bit late on it this time around, but in a few weeks we'll do it again between February and March. I just want to quickly go over and say, okay, what we liked about January so far, and feel free to give us your thoughts in the comments, or just want to make this as interactive a conversation as possible. So we're going to discuss what we loved in January and what we're looking forward to in February. Tim, let's go to you first.
Look, I don't know. It's probably technically February, but I thought the Saxon album was the Saxon album so far.
Yep.
What am I looking forward to? Well, I am looking forward to Zealanada. Looking forward to Voivod.
Mm-hmm.
I am looking forward to the new album from Immolation. I am looking forward to Bad Omens. That'll be pretty cool. And there's a solo album from George Fisher, which I'm definitely looking forward to. And Scorpions are usually quite interesting as well.
Cool. How about you, Dave? What comes to mind for you?
Yeah, there's been a few that have really stood out in the last few weeks. What we've been doing so far, the Omnific local band, that album was fantastic. Yeah. And Kiss and Dynamite, one of my new favorite bands. I went back and listened to their entire catalog after we reviewed the new album. Very cool. And of course, Battle Beast. That band always delivers. What I'm looking forward to is out tomorrow. Slash and Grisham Chronicles. Lagerstein have a new single coming out very soon. Keep an eye on their page because they got cool stuff happening. But any Lagerstein single, EP, album, live album, it's all cool. Get drunk and dance the pirate dance. Which I'll reference in my bin later on tonight. I had an incident which I'll do later.
Okay.
Hammerfall have a new one coming out, and Scorpions, as Tim mentioned.
Cool. A quick note, The Poor, Aussie band The Poor, are releasing their first new music in fucking forever tomorrow. So
fantastic.
A new single from The Poor is coming tomorrow. So that's something to look forward to in terms of singles that I know about. I've got a lot more, but I haven't got my list ready to go. Yes, we've got that one. Rowan's gone. I'm still looking forward to the Michael Romeo album. So am I. It's just fucking delayed. That's in March now. So far, January. I really did enjoy. I've got to quickly scroll through here. Sorry, my notes aren't quite prepared. Power Paladin. That was an impressive little release. That one. That was very, very cool. What else have I got in January that we went through? That was interesting. Sorry. I do apologize. I'm going to Party Cannon was a fun review. Tony Martin Thorns. Now, we haven't reviewed it, but I've given it a few spins. And that's a pretty cool album, that one. That's not bad at all. That actually surprised me. That was a good little surprise, that one. So not the, oh my God, but it was just a cool little moment for me there. Those are the ones sort of jump out as being Kiss and Dynamite was great as well. Like all the ones you mentioned there were good, but that was the one that's sort of like, okay, those are the ones that really sort of grabbed my attention so far. Kiss and Dynamite. What else? That's about where it's at. Coming up, hang on, I've got more to get through. Sorry, just quickly. Jethro Tull was actually Lawnmower Death. I will say that was a good one. That was a good. That was a good, fun surprise. That one. I enjoyed that one. Palace of the King was good as well. The Live in España. That was a good little release too. That was pretty cool. When we get to February, we've already had Sacked, and that was phenomenal. That was awesome. Got a few here tonight, which we're going to get to in a minute. But what's coming up grabs my attention. Straight back, Degreed looks interesting. I'm not so sure, but I'm actually curious about the Eddie Vedder release tomorrow. I'm curious. Like the last one was a bit of a fest, but I'm curious about it. Jeezy Pearl's Love Hate will be interesting to check out too after a while between drinks for that outfit. Garish and the Chronicles, of course. That's a must listen. What else have we got coming through here? Slash is very, very cool. Always is. Voivod. Yeah, Voivod are a very, very cool band, so cool, looking forward to that. Neptune Power Federation, we talked about the single last stream or the stream before. No, last week. This time last week we spoke about the Neptune Power Federation. I'm looking forward to that album, actually, so that's cool. And Anthony Lucasen, Star One, that's coming out soon too. Very keen on that. Midnight Oil have an album coming in about a week. I'm keen to check that out. What else am I looking forward to here? Hammerfall, definitely Hammerfall. The songs that have been released from that have been fucking absolutely fantastic, so definitely looking forward to that one. Scorpions, always like Scorpions, so it's not a problem for me at all in that regard. And then Wider, that's about probably what really grabs my attention off the top of my head. That's about. I mean, there's a Static X reissue. I'm not really into the reissues. I don't really spend a lot of time on those, to be honest. But there's a few though, and I'm sure there's more that's missing. But that's looking pretty cool there. So there's a big month coming up, and from what we're getting email-wise, it's gonna be a massive fucking year. So strap yourselves in. It's just barely started, but fuck me dead. Alrighty, let's get back to the comments. You go for it. I'll go to the comments while you're doing that. Rowan says, I'm still looking forward to the Michael Romeo album, which we covered before. So Benjamin's gone, all right. So who knows who keeps blocking the toilet in the THRS lounge? I'm not going to point the finger. We all know it's probably a member of Rautism. So there we go. There's some bands going on about the lounge. Join our Facebook group if you want to. There's a lot of fun in there.
Blocking the toilet. Well, that's so good. Whoever had GYG last.
Yeah, sure. Dave, probably. We'll blame him for that. Dean says, Kiss and Dynamite for February. Definitely. The Poor tomorrow sounds shit hot so far. New album soon. Flash featuring Miles Kennedy and the Conspirators tomorrow. That's cool. He's also keen on new Scorpions and the Poor album in April. Okay, cool. Looking forward to that then.
Also, man, Frankenbach.
Yeah. Is there a new album?
Frankenbach.
Fuck me. Really?
There is a new Frankenbach album out.
Out now?
Yeah.
What? Oh, fuck me.
I'm telling you, there's a new Frankenbach album.
Okay. Alrighty. Bear with me. This is working out. This is how we do things on the fly here, folks. So give me a second.
How could we forget the Buck?
I don't know, man. I didn't even know it was out. It wasn't on my list at all.
I didn't know it was out either, to be fair, until I saw, I think, Azza posted about it.
What's it called?
No idea. I haven't listened to it yet.
Okay.
I haven't had time at all.
We'll have to have a check. If anyone knows what it is, then let us know.
I'll have a look. I'll have a look now.
Okay, have a look. So Rowan's gone the Vi and Ghost albums. Yeah, Ghost I'm definitely looking forward to. But yeah, Vi was a good one. If you like that sort of stuff, that's already out now. Rowan also says yes, that one for sure. Marco says also worth mentioning for an Australian Hall of Fame. What about Fraternity, produced by Bon Scott and Jimmy Barnes? That's not a bad.
That was a good band.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. But Jeff's also said March is what I'm waiting for. Impera, the new Ghost album. The two songs from Hunter's Moon and Calling Little Sunshine are both kick ass. So yes, we're all very keen on the new Ghost album coming up very, very soon. We have discussed that one before. But if anyone knows the new Frankenbach one, then yeah, let us know. But
it's out tomorrow. Overdose on True Bandicam Records.
What's it called?
Overdose.
Fuck me. All right, cool. Remind me tomorrow.
Frankenbach.
Nice. New Bach. Always going to like New Bach. That's going to be cool. All righty. We're going to change the order up because we're going to let Tim get out of here a bit early tonight. And we're going to have some definite fun with our first review, which is actually the main album for tonight. We're going to go to the classic one first. Sally's just gone with the AHF Billy Thorpe, mate. Legend, yes. Billy Thorpe, another one too that think about in the context of Australian Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. All right, but in the comments, in the description, you're going to find a little link to a little song. This is Incubus, A Certain Shade of Green. That is your reference track for our main event of the evening, which we're going to nice and early. So, yeah, Incubus, A Certain Shade of Green. We have played on the show before. A few of us, me in particular, have banged on about this band a little bit over the years. So we're going to do the classic review first this week, and this is Incubus with Science. 13 tracks, 55 minutes, the second studio album from the American band, released September 1997 via Epic and Immortal. Produced by Jim Wirt at 4th Street Recording in California. 3 singles were released, including New Skin and A Certain Shade of Green. This album went on to be certified gold in both the US and UK and would be the only studio album with DJ Life. This album is turning 25 this year and is this week's Patreon Choice Review. So if you want to get involved in voting for those classic albums we do every week on Thursday nights, join the Patreon page and get involved in the voting. It's costs you fuck all to do so. It's just a little bit of help for us. Would be greatly appreciated. It's in the description box to get more information on that. But let's do this in this way, Dave. Let's go to you first. I know you struggle with this band, so I'm curious as to how badly you struggle with this one because you struggle with Morning View, so this is going to be a lot harder than that for you.
But Morning View was brilliant compared to this. The only problem I had with Morning View is it destroyed the songs with all the samples and the scratchy fucking shit sounds throughout. And I listened to this playlist at work. So Jolly Joker, that was cool, listen to that. And then I wasn't in the mood for the Solemn Skies one. I think that's it. So I skipped to this. And I'm working, so I can't like rip my ear plugs out. I'm like stuck. So it took 2 minutes to get to a point where I could actually stop this first song because I just could not handle these fucking turntable scratches. Oh, and it was like torture because I could not get free to like stop it on my phone or pull the plugs out. So I had to like listen to 2 minutes of it. And I could not understand how people can find this horrible noise music. I sound like an old man, but fuck it. A turntable is not an instrument. Scratching records is like fucking fingernails on a blackboard for me. It's like, no, don't scratch the vinyl. But I don't find a skill in it at all. Anyone that can count to 4 and clap their hands to a beat can scratch a record. It's just, ugh. So I turned it off. I came back later. I skipped the first song and I pushed on. It gets a little bit more tolerable as it goes on. A little bit. Some parts are okay. But it certainly isn't something I would choose to listen to. If someone put it on at a party, I'd probably leave.
Wow.
Yeah. New Skin, funk riffs and beats and fucking hip-hop inspired vocals. And, of course, the annoying electronic noises. There's some good shifts between the sections, though, so I can find some parts to kind of appreciate. There's a good band in here somewhere. But I know Sign of the Times where you had to use samples and scratches and crap to fuck your songs up and make them unbearable. This is worse than Morning View, though, because I could kind of hear the good song in Morning View. This is just, ugh. You know, they can obviously write, they can obviously perform. They know what they're doing. I just don't understand why they're doing a lot of what they're doing. You know, Idiot Box has a lot of good sections. It's just like they're mashed together. There's part of a good song here, and Glass, that song. What the hell is with that My God sample? It just pops up every now and then, and it's annoying. It distracts from the song. It's like, why are you putting this in there? And the closing track, it's just 10 minutes of sick beats, spoken word, odd noises. I would guess even hardcore fans would listen to that once and then never again. A bit like Pearl Jam's Hey Foxy Mop Handle Mama, That's Me. These things were a waste of fucking space on the CD. I don't have any standouts, but I'm not going to bin it. I gave it 2 out of 10.
So the Cobra Kai moment in the 10-minute epic at the end wasn't enough for you?
No. Didn't do it. Just no. There's no point to this.
All right, we have joked about this in the chat, going back and forth. We figured
I was going to sit this review out, and you guys talked me into doing it.
Yeah, because Tim's going to be the voice of reason. I'm going to go the other way. So, Tim,
all right. So here's the deal. My charger has cucked it. So as soon as I'm done with this, I'm out.
Okay, cool.
All right.
Yep.
Now, I was like, okay, I'll do this review because I don't know if Dave's going to do this one. Now, I've never heard this album before. I've heard Incubus albums before. I thought I knew what I was getting into. I was wrong. I did not know that Super Heist released a B-side album. Oh man. I'm at a point when we're talking about cross genres and Monday, and when talking about the good cross genre was Anthrax and Public Enemy.
Yeah.
Yes.
And there's a good point, and I think I made a good point, was I said, well, the point Anthrax like hip hop and Public Enemy like heavy metal, so they kind of understand what they're doing. In 1997, hip hop was popular, and rock bands tried to get in on it, but they had no idea what the fuck they were listening to because they didn't get it, right? Yeah. So they just got a DJ and then just got them to scratch because they think that's what they're doing, but that's not what they're doing. Like I disagree with Dave. I think there is some skill to being a DJ, but I don't think there's any skill to doing this. Like this just sounds like you're wanking with too much lube. They've got a singer with a very good voice. The problem is that you can feel like the band wants him to scream and he just won't do it because he's too much of a my voice. Just fucking scream, man. I struggled with this to find any redeemable qualities. I thought this was and I like new metal, and the thing that stuns me with this is you don't like Limp Bizkit.
No.
Because stylistically, this album is not all that different to Significant Other, and Significant Other just runs circles around it. So I don't know, because it can't be a musical thing, because clearly you got no problem with the style, you got no problem with the rapping or the scratching or whatever. It's just Fred Durst wearing a red cap. It's even got a douchey dude on the cover, like with that fucking mustache. This is where Neil deGrasse Tyson got his mustache from. Like, oh, science, here we go. Idiot. I have no highlight, but Idiot Box was a certain low light. Like, fuck, man, that was like, it was one of those where it was like, we have nothing to say, but we want to sound smart, so we'll just say dumb shit. Like, you know, what do they say? Like, before the 20th century, there was no reality. Well, the reality was what you saw. Now it's reality's all around you. It's like reality was always all around you. You just didn't know any better, you idiot. And that's the irony of the song, Idiot Box. Fucking hell. Like this here is my bin for today. It is Science by Incubus.
Wow.
This is a fucking awful album. And I am stunned that they had a chance to make Wish You Were Here on the back of this album.
They made an album between. Fucking hell, I'm going to make you listen to Make Yourself next.
How? I don't know, right? So when Machine Head made The Blackening, right, they had been dropped from every label but Roadrunner Europe, right? And The Blackening went on to become one of the greatest heavy metal albums of all time. Right?
Yep.
They had this album, that album was nearly canned and didn't go anywhere. Yet this album got somebody listened to this and said, all right, make number 2. It's stunning. Like, there is no justice in this world. I was in isolation. I watched comedians in cars getting coffee for a full week, right? It's a great, and it's like, comedy is a great just democracy, because it's like, if you're funny, they laugh. If you're not, you get off stage and that's it.
Yep.
And this is proof that music is no democracy, because this just is fucking awful. All right. I'm out of here. I got 2% left. See you later.
Mic drop.
That's it. He's just fucking out. Fucking he did. Oh, man.
Fucking gold.
Right. Well, fuck the pair of you. I adore this fucking album. I absolutely adore this album. And you can say what you like about the whole rap metal thing, but there is something about this that is entertaining and appealing to me. I'd like to hear how you guys go with some interesting sort of Faith No More or Mike Patton kind of stuff, because there's not
a Mike.
Huh?
Yeah, I'm not a Faith No More fan.
Yeah. See, there is a Faith No More influence, particularly on Brandon Boyd, when it comes from Mike Patton and stuff. So there's a crossover, because I can listen to a lot of Mike Patton's stuff. So there's a weird, quirky thing to this going on. Okay, we've got some comments. Tom, I see you coming. I'll get to all the comments in a second. There's a lot that's been coming through. Now, I'm going to go on the record and say I fucking love this band. I love this album. When it comes to, Tim's kind of this versus Limp Bizkit, Fred Durst is a fucking idiot. Whereas Brandon Boyd, there's a lot more going on for mine. It's also vocal delivery, vocal ability. Like Brandon Boyd's vocals, if you hear everything he does, it's just, his vocal is stunning on so many things. What I love about this one is how much fun you can have listening to it. And I knew Dave wouldn't like it. I'm surprised that Tim went so hard at it. It's funny because he says the comment that he said about I like this but I don't like Limp Bizkit applies in reverse. He likes Limp Bizkit, but he doesn't like this. So, there's something in this. There are very clear differences between the two bands. Now, for me, there's a bit of the jazz fusion in the composition, which I'm surprised you didn't pick up on the instrument, like the instrumentation of it, Dave, and the
I was distracted by the electronic noises and the scratching. I knew it was there, but I just couldn't get past the crap on top of it.
Now, there's only one. This is the only album with DJ Life on it, so there's a reason for that, which plays out as the years go on. But for what he did on this album, I actually thought it worked pretty well. And I'm not a huge fan of the DJ stuff. I don't see a whole lot of point in rock and metal, but in this one, they did turn it into a genuine. More comments going through. I'm going to get to them all in a second, but the what they've done to bring some spark and some color and fill things out was interesting to me. I understand how it can be over the top, but the way they chopped it in was done in such a way that it entertained me. It's just one of those things where it's purely going to come down to taste. Like, I will not enjoy Limp Bizkit at all, but I will love this stuff, and I love these guys. Even the one before this one, if you hate this one, be careful with Fungus Among Us, the album beforehand. That's even more out there.
I'm done with this band.
I'm not. I love a lot. They don't do everything brilliant, but they've done some great albums over the years. From this to Make Yourself to Morning View and a few other ones later on, they've done some pretty good stuff. I think Brandon Boyd is the highlight of the thing here, but Mike Einziger's guitar work is brilliant too. The rhythm section is doing and what's cool about this is the way that progressive or technical element shifts in the composition and how they all leap together, including the DJ. So I thought they did really good stuff in there. I love the mixing. The mix is phenomenal. There's a lot going on. They did this in some small little studio in California that the producer's name you can't even get a Wikipedia credit on. It's just they've done something in a small studio and it sounds so good today. It's 25 years old. It still sounds great. Like, it hasn't dated itself apart from maybe stylistically to the new metal era. But this sounds fantastic. There's a lot of detail in this. I love how there's bongos in this. There's tripped out effects. There's the scratches. There's ballsy riffs. There's danceable rhythms. Like Anti-Gravity Love Song is just fucking one of those ones where it's just a catchy tune. And they had another one where everyone's in, wherever it is. There's a song later on that they had from Morning View, I think it was. That was a really cool. So they know how to write catchy tunes. So this is one of those ones where if you've ever seen the band live, it just goes off. And I don't know how else to describe it. Certain Shade of Green, when that riff comes on in the live set, the whole place just fucking erupts. That is one of my favorite songs from this band. One of my favorite songs of a lot of things in general, actually. I really love that song. But I think there's hooks in this, there's energy, there's riffs, there's solos, there's all this sort of stuff here. Great mixing on it. I just love everything about it. I think it's still got that edge about it. It's not too polished. I just really, really, really I agree. I agree with Segway 1 is a bit redundant at the end of the album. So that's not quite required. I do, even listening to it, I still listen to it. I still put it on and listen to it all the way through. But it becomes a struggle and repeat listens as opposed to just the one off kind of a thing. So that's an interesting one there. But yeah, I don't know. It's for me, it's unique because this is a band that the family I was born into, me and my siblings, can love this band. The family I've married into, my wife and my children, can love this band. So it's one of those unique beasts that it's cross generations and it's worked out really, really well. But I can't get anyone in this group to fucking enjoy it. So it's fucking bizarre for me. But I love this band. I love this album. If you don't like DJ scratching, then stay the fuck away. If you want something a bit different and you're not afraid of that sort of stuff, you want to go back to the earlier times of nu metal, give this one a go if you haven't done so already. I think it's fantastic. I have a 9.5 out of 10, so that makes up for you two being cruel and vicious and nasty, giving me a bin and a 2. Fuck you both. A Certain Shade of Green, New Skin, favorite things. I love the lyrics in that, and same with Calagon. Calagon is a funny as fuck song. And also Vitamin. That's another sharp one too. The lyrics on this one are really, really cutting and intelligent. So I really did enjoy what they were doing with this one. But that's me. So there we go. Bit of fun with that one. We got that one nice and out of the road a bit early in the piece tonight, but hopefully you've all enjoyed it. We're not done yet. We've got a couple more reviews to go, but I'm going to go back to the comments here because we've got a few of them coming through here. So what do we got here? Andrew, I'm with Dave about scratching vinyl. Sacrilege. Jeff says, come on, Dave, tell us how you really feel. Bill is saying, Dave and Tim making me cry and laugh at the same time. So Sally is saying, oh, it's bad. I like his voice, but even the melody that should be there, nut. 2 out of 10 being stuck somewhere that this was on like work would put you in a dangerous mood. Is that bad? She said to say goodbye to Tim when he left. So there we go. Benjamin said, someone just called me about the toilet in the THRS lounge, told me it was the fucking keyboard player from Orpheus and Maggie. Is totally guilty as fuck. All right. But over on YouTube, Tom has joined us and said, standing ovation. This album is crap. So there we go. And but here we go. I'm not alone in liking this album. Bell says, the first time I heard this album was on a promotional CD playing in a record store. I loved what I was hearing, convinced the sales guy to let me buy it. I've listened to it countless times since. Full disclosure, I had no idea there was a secret track at the end of the CD until I listened to the album recently on Spotify. What a pile of crap that song is. Total insult to an otherwise awesome album. So there we go. We're getting a pretty big consensus on the last track, but the album for me, fucking gem. Rowan says the moral of the story is let Tim get a full night of sleep, which is probably true. Maybe the same for Dave. And Dean says, really like Incubus, love the track. So there we go. That's a bit of a one. I didn't think it'd go that way, but the way we thought this would play it as David can, and we knew Dave wouldn't like it. I didn't think Tim would bin it. I thought
that was a surprise. That was wow.
Tim would be. We thought that Dave would be binning it, Tim would be middle ground, and I'd gush over it. That's what we thought would happen. That's what we. That's
exactly what Tim put in the chat.
Yeah, and that's not what happened. So, and it was the most unexpected one that went the fucking out of the box on it. So, Tim, what the fuck? It's not how this was supposed to go. Now you know we don't script anything because that wasn't how this was supposed to go at all. So I don't know, but a lot of fun. 2 more reviews to go. I'll knock them over pretty quickly. But before we do, Dean's gone. If you did an Australian Hall of Fame, what would your first band be to go in?
AC/DC.
Yeah, that'd have to be. That would have to be, I would think. It's hard to go past it, isn't it? Seriously,
Yeah.
I can't think who you beat out for that. Honestly,
they're not my in excess. They're not one of my favorites. I like them. I know people hate them, but I like in excess. But they're fucking significant, so I put them in as well. But AC/DC being my first sport.
I think AC/DC in terms of just longevity, influence, all those things. I've got a couple of comments here. Okay, this is interesting. Andrew and Michael, both on YouTube and Facebook, have both said the Easy Beats. That's a good point. Yeah.
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 Lobby Lloyd.
Sorry?
Lloyd would be Lobby Lloyd and the color balls. Yeah. The Tats and Angels.
Yeah. I think another contender that might be a bit out of the box, possibly Midnight Oil.
Yeah, they should be in.
Yeah, but that's probably one we'd want to actually put together as like those daily questions I'm trying to bring back in, those random little questions. Maybe one for that.
Billy Forbes in there. Billy Forbes.
Yeah. There's a lot actually that should be in there. Jeff says the Angels, which is true as well. Yeah. Tom says AC/DC for longevity and the fact they're still relevant, which is cool there. But Man Family over on YouTube, good to see you. They've gone Easy Beats as well. There we go. Cold Chisel is a given from Sally, and also Bell says Cold Chisel as well, so that's another one too.
Yeah.
What do we got?
High hooks.
I'm not sure. Kevin Borich is from Andrew there. He's saying Kevin Borich. Jeez, the comments are coming fucking flying through now. Sorry. Sean, there's another great band that deserves a Hall of Fame recognition is The Poor, because they're a great Aussie rock band. Plus, The Poor is releasing a track on Friday. Yes, we've.
The Poor was actually the first band I ever saw live.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I was 14 or 15. I'd just seen Airheads at the movies in Dandenong.
Oh, nice.
And we were walking past JB, and they were on a fucking truck outside JB Hi-Fi in Dandenong. More Wine, Way to Please had just dropped. They were giving away a free copy of the CD single, and they performed the song live. Like, fuck, cool. A band. My first time seeing a band. That was such a cool experience.
That's cool, man. That's a nice one. Cool. Here we go, Dean. On that note, seeing The Poor at Cherry in March. There we go. That's pretty cool.
Oh, nice.
Enjoy. Yeah, no, there's a lot. That'd be another conversation. I think we can expand on that one and make that a bit more in depth and give it some thought as opposed to just
rattling off.
There's a lot there to take in. There's a lot. So that'd be cool. All right, we've got a couple of reviews to go. Let's get on to the first one we plan to do, and then we'll get on to the a different main event tonight later on. So we're going to go through a few gear changes tonight, so strap in, because this is the more rock and roll one. The one after this is, we had Party Cannon the other week. We're going to go the complete opposite direction a bit later on.
That's an understatement.
I'm really curious how you're going to go with that one, Dave, but we'll get to that one in a bit. First up, though, we've got Jolly Joker. So Jolly Joker is the band. The reference track for you to check out is I Don't Care. So this is Jolly Joker, I Don't Care. It's in the comments. It's in the description box. Check it out and let us know what you think of that, because we're going to talk about the album now. So this is Jolly Joker, Loud and Proud. 10 tracks, 37 minutes. The third studio album from the Spanish band, released February 2022 via Dark Rails Records. 3 singles have been released, including Sky So High and Blood Velvet. I don't have a whole lot more information on this, except that I believe they've been at this for over a decade now, from what I was able to dig up. They've had a few lineup changes along the way, and this is one of those ones that Lee, our good friend Lee, brought this one to my attention in the Patreon group. So thank you for unearthing this one for us, because I think it's pretty cool. I think that Dave liked it as well, but let's find out for sure. How'd you go?
Yeah, this is a fun listen. And I was having such a great day. You know, I put this on at work, started my day, like, fuck yeah, this is cool. This is rock and roll. And then the next album came on, and I'm just like, okay, I'm not in the mood for this. Let's skip to Incubus. And then, we all know what happened, so I'll move on. But this is just straight up rock and roll. There's no fucking turntable scratching. Parts of this reminded me of the modern sleaze and glam stuff, but there's a very heavy amount of classic rock and roll in here as well. The song New Orleans has that old school rock and roll piano, and if you like that shit with the old school rock and roll riffing, then very catchy song. That was cool. The singer's voice suits this music perfectly. He reminded me of Lizzie Devine. Now, if you know about the Cruel Intentions and his old band Van Jenner, I actually had to look up if this was his new band, because it sounds so much like initially. But I mean, people listen to him just like, yeah, it's not. But initially, the first one through, it's just like, fuck, it sounds like Lizzie.
Mm.
There's a lot of energy to these songs. Most of all, there's a sense that they're enjoying making music together. They're having fun. They're not reinventing the wheel at all. It's nothing you haven't heard before, but it's done exceptionally well. The choruses throughout these songs just instantly catchy. There's a lot of melody, and there's just some really nice guitar solos. The guitar work is cool. The drums, the bass, it all locks in really well together. There's a little bit of wah here and there in the solo. I know some people despise the wah effect. I think it brings a great dynamic.
Yep.
Jerry Cantrell from Alice in Chains uses it great. Slash uses it cool. Kirk Hammett may overdo it, but fuck, the wah is a cool pedal.
Yeah, does a good job.
The lyrics are fun rock and roll stories. It's nothing, there's no heavy issues, there's no dark stories, but it's cool to have some easygoing, fun rock and roll for a change. It's upbeat. Now, Voodoo Nights, that's a very cool, clean guitar tone in the middle.
Yeah.
There's this really nice section that he does. And then it goes into this bridge section where the singer and the backup vocals are like, nah, 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 you got some of that shit happening. And then there's a very cool solo after that. That's very easily a standout on the album.
Nice.
But this is definitely an album for having a barbecue, nice sunny day, drinking beer, or driving through the country. This was fun.
Yeah.
I got 8 out of 10. I Don't Care, Blood Velvet, Voodoo Nights, Devil's Hand, and New Orleans were my standouts. But it's just a fun, enjoyable album.
Cool. I'm glad you liked it because I did too. For me, it was a bit of a mix between, if you want to go Aussie band comparisons, then I'd go, it'd be somewhere between, because I could hear elements of both Snakebite Whiskey and Warbirds in this. So you got that sleazy, but a lot of soul and melody as well. So
yeah, it's a good way of putting it.
Yeah, I think it fits in between that. You can hear bits. They don't like those bands directly, but you can hear bits and pieces of those spectrums in there. Yeah, maybe a little bit of, if you like bands that I used to bang on about, like $1 Million Reload out of Ireland, that'd be another one to, I should say Northern Ireland actually. But yeah, that was another one that would, if you like that, you'd probably enjoy this one. It's just old school, good old fashioned hard rock and roll. I just love the melody in this. There's some really nice writing in this. They've got plenty of punch and bite when they want to. They got the softer touches down right on this as well. There's a little hint of organ here and there on this, and that's used really nicely. It's a subtle thing, but they've used it just right to fill out the sound. It's just a clever little thing, and it shows a lot of attention to detail in writing and production. There's lots of groove on this one. The hooks are great on this across the board. There's some good storytelling as well. Like the lyrics are really good, and a lot of bands that come out of like Italy, Spain, that sort of stuff, you can pick up on the accent of the vocalist, and sometimes there's a bit of a breakdown in the way the English works. This doesn't. This feels, you could think this was a native English speaker for all I know. I don't know who's singing, but yeah, I would just, you could just imagine it being a native English speaker, which is kind of remarkable when it's a band you haven't heard of before, that's a new discovery, and they've been around for a while, but you haven't, you always have that, no matter how long someone's been around for, the first time you check them out, you always got that little bit of caution in your mind. It's just gone like that. It's just so well done. The vocals are fantastic on this. And that's not to do with the accent either. The vocals are genuinely outstanding. They're one of the highlight aspects of this record. They work so well here. Just the nice amount of grit in there, but they're very clean, very great vocals. I loved how the mix was done on this to accent that too, though, because this favors the bottom end a bit more. The vocals just cut through enough in the way the frequencies are all set up on this one, which is really nice to do. So adding some thickness and warmth to really, get into the sound of it all overall, because you got where the vocals are cutting through, and then I don't know. I loved how they mixed this and put the vocals where they did with the warmth and thickness to the bottom end of it. It was a very, very nice touch. Great push and pull. Everything's really clear in it. Got plenty of space separation with the tones, which is actually another nice trick, because I have emphasized the bottom end a bit. To get the separation of the tones is a little more challenging, but they've done a really, really good job. Got good pace change on the record. It flies by as a listen. You got some, flair and attitude in this too. Even a little bit of Foley on there, like tracks like Motor. You get like a engine sound. You got some really cool panning effects going on there too, which is really nice. But I think the overall order of the album, the song composition, all those things are great on here too. They're not reinventing the wheel, but when you do things like this and you do it this well, you don't need to reinvent the wheel, because it just needs to be really good, and they've done a fucking great job with this kind of music. If you like good old-fashioned hard rock with rhythm and groove, get onto this one. It's got everything you want on it at all. It's got, it has all the cliches from the typical, things of the genre, but it's never clear. It's never tacky. And that's hard to do. That's a really hard line to walk, and they've done it very, very well. The last two tracks, Devil's Hand and New Orleans, they really brought something different to the album as well. It's a good way to close things out, like you said, the piano elements, so the honky tonk side of things, but also the southern flavors on there as well. That was a really nice way to wrap it up. I don't know. I've never checked out this band before. Never heard of them until this, but I'm curious to hear more. It's got some nice swagger to it. This is a good, fun album. So yeah, another good find from Lee. Thank you for sharing it with us. But yeah, I gave it an 8.5 out of 10. I really enjoyed it. I picked I Don't Care, Blood Velvet, and Fortune Teller as my standouts on this one. So there we go. Just looked at the comments then after looking at my notes. It goes for a second. So Jeff's gone about the Australian Hall of Fame. Daddy Cool. Yeah, it's one to add there as well. You could even put probably Jimmy Barnes as a standalone. John Farnham, maybe?
Probably.
Sorry?
Probably. You'd have to put Farnsey in.
Yeah. Anyway, where are we going here? So Dean said, I really like it. Up my alley. Classic rock and roll. Love the production. Very nice. Cool. He's gone. I'll have to check out the album. Sounds like fun rock and roll. Never heard of him, but enjoyed the single, so very nice. All right. Bell says, this one made me laugh. The album was adequate. I liked the guitar solos, not enough turntable scratching. So, so there we go. Sally's gone lol first sentence. Dean, there we go. Man Family saying Australian Hall of Fame would have to have Slim Dusty, Bee Gees, and the Vinyls. Had forgotten Bee Gees. That's another good point too, actually.
The Vinyls, definitely.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, here we go. More of that coming through. Screaming Jets and Jets. Yeah. Not as sold on Jet, but definitely Screaming Jets. I'd put them up there. But yeah. Keep them coming, folks, if you want to. By all means, keep that sort of topic alive. But we're going to move on to the last review of the evening, and we are going to dramatically change gears. We are going to dramatically change gears. So you have been forewarned. We're going to slow things right down. This is Silent Skies, and the track for your reference is Let It Hurt. So band is Silent Skies. The track is Let It Hurt. I have a funny feeling that Dave's going to reference that, and not in the nice way, as we go through the review. As he sculls his drink. So our final review for this evening is Silent Skies with Nectar. 10 tracks, 47 minutes, the second studio album from this pairing of evergrey vocalist Tom S. England and pianist multi-instrumentalist Vikram Shankar. Released February 2022 via Napalm Records, produced by England and Shankar themselves, mastered by Jakob Hansen at Hansen Studios. 2 singles have been released in Leaving and Taper. This is much more mellow, has strings provided by Raphael Weinroth Brown from Leprous as well. So there's a bit of star power in this one. Now, forewarned is forearmed. Now, if we can go to the extreme of having Party Cannon a few weeks ago, we can go the other way and push the needle into the other direction. We'll see how we go with this one. Dave, how did you go?
Yeah. As mentioned earlier, I was having such a great day at work. I had Jolly Joker. I listened to the entire album. I fucking loved it. Got the upbeat, fun rock and roll vibes, and then this comes on. And it just slows things down so much. So much so the mood just fucking, like the rain clouds came out. And if anyone's ever seen SpongeBob, there's an episode where he's so deflated and defeated, he just kind of sinks into his chair and melts into the floor. And that's exactly what it felt like was happening to me. So much so I thought, fuck it, I can't do this right now. I'm not in the right mood. I'm going to put Incubus on, and we know how that fucking turned out for me, don't we? Jesus Christ. So I came back to this because I have to do my job. I decided, I don't know what fucking mood you have to be in for this. Jesus Christ. But I tried. Okay. I was like, I'm just going to listen to this. And after listening to this in full, it's not an easy listen. Melancholy and depressive are the best ways to describe it. And I don't recommend you listen to this when you're happy, because you won't be. Don't listen to it when you're sad either, because you'll feel fucking worse. I wouldn't listen to it while you're alone, because you're going to need to talk to somebody. And at the same time, don't listen to it while you're with somebody, because they'll leave. Okay, this is not party music. Okay, if you put on a party, they'll leave. Don't listen to this while you're cooking a barbecue, because the meat will fucking shrivel up and just it'll be gone. Okay, I've heard of music being able to summon demons. This will summon rain clouds. It'd be a nice sunny day, and all of a sudden it'll be just doom and gloom. Now, I wouldn't recommend listening to this in a car either, because you'll fucking either fall asleep or drive off a bridge.
Shit. Oh wow.
If you're a fan of Seinfeld, you'll probably remember the episode in Seinfeld where Elaine's talking to this guy and she's like, "How you doing?" He goes, "I'm depressed. I bought a new shirt and the button fell off. Once the button falls off, that's it. I'll never fix it." No, this guy's miserable. This is what that guy's music would sound like. No enjoyment out of life at all. You just have to look at the song titles. Fallen from Heart, Never Ending, Let It Hurt, Leaving Cold, Better Days. Okay, here's some lyrics to a song called Taper. Faint scars on my body, fragments where I've been, sparse echoes from heartbeats, till still beat within. Sometimes my presence won't hold. I feel like I can't breathe. Feels like I've lost control because my heart is too old. While my soul is too young, it's getting harder and harder. I can't hold out much longer. The whole fucking album's like that. 10 songs, too much of the same depressive shit.
Oh, wow.
The song Cold was a slight change musically, and then these fucking lyrics just come on again, and I couldn't handle it. The ironic thing is, some of my favorite songs are really depressing and melancholy. Comfortably Numb. That's a fucking depressing song, but there are different moods in this and different sections, and when that solo kicks in, it just goes through a range of emotions, and that's just one song on the wall. It's not a double album of the same fucking song over and over again. Now, there's a whole bunch of other songs like that, like Love Reign Over Me from The Who, or Shattered to Pieces from Salem's Lot, or Hold On to My Heart from Wasp. They're really, really depressing. But that's just one emotion on an album. They've got so much things in between. But any of these songs could have been great in the middle of an album of other upbeat songs. It could have been a standout, any of these songs. But no. You got, it's just too much of the same thing, and I wanted to kill myself. It's unrelenting as black metal is. They got 2 speeds, fast and faster. This is just slow and slower. There's not enough different moods or ideas in here to make it interesting at all. It's just fucking. I played a little bit for Julia. I was just like, this is the most depressing thing I've ever heard. She heard 2 minutes and she's just like, if anyone knows this guy, they need to call him and ask him if he's okay. I don't know what the fuck is going on with this.
Wow.
I'm not going to bin it because musically there's some creativity there. So I'll give it 2, but I certainly didn't have any standouts. I couldn't wait for it to be over. The funny thing, after listening to Jolly Joker and skipping this and not being able to deal with Incubus, I put on Suicidal Tendencies. Brighten my mood.
Oh, wow.
For my Camera Revolution album, I put on Send Me Your Money and You Can't Bring Me Down and Alone, and that made me happy.
Okay.
Fuck, I can't wait to see what you make of this.
Okay. So what do you give it out of 10? Anything or?
2.
2? And no 10.
No standouts. I just can't deal with it.
This is where, I mean, one, you're going to tell who's the producer of the show because I pick what goes into these. Aside from the Patreon choice. The thing about this is that if you're not into anything like a cappella vocals, you're not going to enjoy this. If you're not into orchestration and piano music, you're not going to enjoy this. I grew up with all those things, so I can, in great detail, appreciate the intricacies that have gone into it. I love the little things in this one, like the opening and closing when someone walks into the room, opens the piano and starts playing, and at the end, they close the piano and walk out of the room. That, to me, this is a real art house kind of an album. This is not rock and roll at all. So don't have any delusions here. We're not talking about a rock and roll album. So in terms of, pure hard rock show material, this is not the normal vein for us. That's why we do a deep cut session on a Thursday. We sort of try and go a bit deeper into things and play in the spaces. We did the Party Cannon one the other week. We're going to do this one tonight. So yeah, this one comes with a fair grain of salt or a word of warning that, yeah, this is not going to make you an overly happy person listening to it. Clearly, Dave's still depressed.
So, I put on Nirvana to make me feel better.
All I can think of right now is you walking into the room like out of Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy and going, I think you ought to know I'm feeling very depressed. That'd be you. So anyway, this album to me, though, is stunning in how beautifully put together it is. If you don't like the style of music, it's going to do nothing for you at all. It's not going to win you. It's not going to change your mind. It's not going to make you even remotely open-minded to this style of music. If you do enjoy the style of music, if you can handle piano, vocal, and strings with a few other bits and pieces in there.
I like all that. I just didn't look at this.
Yeah, I don't think this is quite, because the vocal harmonies and that are much more inclined to the classical background, and that's what I grew up bread and butter on. So I'm not quite sure you got the same, when it comes to, the classics like, Bach, Mozart, Beethoven.
I like Bach and I like Beethoven. I can listen to classical music, but it's happy in places.
Yeah, but there's a lot of melancholy in those ones too, and I tend to gravitate toward those melancholy pieces more than happier pieces. So this one, it's very soft, it's very sappy, it's all those things. I'm not going to deny any of those things, but if you can appreciate the style of music, what they're going for, I think it's stunningly well done. Production is fucking brilliant. I love the mix on this thing. Tom's vocals sound phenomenal, and just on pure vocal ability, I reckon he's one of the best male vocalists going around at the moment. His work in Evergrey is outstanding. His talents on this is purely undeniable, and there's nowhere to hide. So you've got piano, you've got strings, and the vocal is there to be the centerpiece. And the vocal harmonies on it, his use of falsetto, those sorts of things were impressively well done. Just the technical execution side of it, beautiful. I thought the storytelling was good on this. It is melancholy, but I thought it was very well told. The lyrics are so well done. You actually feel what is intended. So yes, it didn't make you happy, but that's, the conviction, the writing kind of thing coming through and actually impacting you through a listen. This wasn't like, the Incubus one where it just annoyed you. This one actually got to you. Do you know what I mean? There's a difference.
Yeah, it affected my mood greatly.
Yeah, and it's one of those ones where if you're able to handle it, then it's impressive. Now, to me, I don't know. I thought they used panning because the composition is relatively to date overall. There are gear changes in that, but nothing huge. But the way they use panning and production to build crescendos in the song was a nice touch on this one too. It's all that orchestration and all that kind of stuff too. So it is one of those ones where you're gonna love it or you're gonna hate it. I don't think there's a middle ground for this kind of music at all. I think you're either gonna be in love with it or you're gonna completely go, "What the fuck was that?" And comments I'm seeing that we're going to see, I'm going to be I'm going to be the contrarian tonight. I'll put it that way. I'm the one that's on the outside looking in. No one likes me. No one agrees with me. I'm going to go home and eat worms. I'm going to give this one a 9 out of 10. I really enjoyed it. I thought the execution was brilliant. If you like the style of music, that's why I say it's a love or hate kind of an album. You're going to hate it, or if you are into it, I fucking loved it. I could listen to this one quite often, but then again, I'm not generally the happiest person in the world. So... But anyway, no. I'm genuinely speaking, I'm all good. I just tend to have an appreciation for the style of music. I do love it. So I gave it a 9 out of 10. For me, this is goosebump kind of stuff. I picked Taper, Let It Hurt, and Leaving as my standouts on this album there. So we'll leave it at that. Like I said, that's what these deep cut sessions on Thursdays are for. It's either to catch up on things we've missed or us to go and explore a bit deeper. So we will challenge you some weeks, just like we challenge ourselves. Now, that said, it was a quieter week. That's why this one made it in. I didn't think it would all be like this when I made the choice because it is Tom England from Evergrey. I thought there'd be more to it than that. But, hey, it is what it is. Now, generally speaking, on a bigger week like this week coming up tomorrow, you're not going to get ones like this on Thursday. You're going to get a lot more of our traditional thing over the next week. So this is few and far between these ones, folks. But, yeah, it is what it is. We all like our different things. That's what we have to do here. So what do we got? We got some comments. I got a few comments on this one actually. So let's go through it. Tom says this is too sappy. Ed Sheeran thinks this is too pop. So that's from Tom. Jeff says, and here I thought Michael Bolton was retired. Apparently, he now has a goatee. Andrew's going to one of Dave's best reviews yet. So,
Thank you.
back to the Hall of Fame for a second. John Farnham has to go in from Dean. What a career, and yet never broke overseas. One of the greatest Australian entertainers ever, which is very, very true. But Dean also said, Dave's review is the best I've heard, and I have stomach cramps. So there we go. Tom says maybe his dog died before he wrote the album. Now, this is starting to bring back to me memories of things like the Michael Sweet album we did a few years ago. That's what.
I think I was kinder this time.
You were kinder to this one, yes. The Hall of Fame, Baby Animals from Sally says yes. Dean says, Steve, you're right. Yes, definitely. I think so too. Dean says, Dave, do you need someone to talk to?
I'm good. I just turned this shit off.
I'll book you for an appointment, Dave. So there we go. Tim,
that's scary.
Tim, you're being mean. They sound like a hard rock version of Coldplay.
That's actually a fair point.
All right. Belle says, halfway into the second song, I had to check that I was playing the right album. These songs were beautiful. The singing was beautiful, but I couldn't get past the third song. It was too much repeat mellow for me. Fair enough. I completely get all. I'm not going to sit here and defend the criticism. I get it. It's one of those things I said, you either love it or you don't. It's getting one of those ones. Sally says, ew. So there we go. That's pretty straightforward from her. Dean says, I got to check it out. I'm into all kinds of music. Got brought up with all kinds of music in my household. And there you go. Let us know how you go with it. Back to the Hall of Fame here for a second. The Angels, for us to do Midnight Oil, classic rock and roll bands need to be in the Hall of Fame there. So there we go. So yeah, that was an interesting way to close things out. It's been an interesting episode tonight, actually, with how just it's usually not me that's completely on the outer. Tonight it was me that was completely on the outer. So there we go. There are some weeks where obviously I get it wrong, and we'll go from there. Except the Patreon choice, that was a vote, and then there was a tie at the top, and it was random selection out of the ones at the top. Anyway, please do, while we're at that sort of stuff, I'm going to plug it now. If you're tuning in, if you're enjoying this, thank you so much for your time. Please, please, please. Let me go here. Where's the fucking link? Jesus Christ, there it is. There. Sorry, my notes are all over the joint tonight. Quick question though. Dean's gone Johnny O'Keefe Hall of Fame. That's an interesting question, that one. I have to think about that one a bit. Do some more digging. But anyway, there's a lot to unpack in that conversation. We'll keep working on that one over the next few weeks and see what we come up with. In the comments, it's also in the episode post, episode description box, if you want to call it, is our link to our Patreon page. Please do check it out. If you can spare anything at all to help us out in that platform, it's greatly, greatly appreciated. We're all volunteers. We all have day jobs, all that kind of stuff. The idea here is that if we can get myself sort of being able to drop a few days at the day job, not even trying to replace the entire full-time income, drop a few days, then I'll be able to get a lot more done. The amount we've got coming through is insane this year. So any help you can give us there is greatly, greatly appreciated. We are on a bit of a drive of that this year. We're going to try and push that a bit so we can just focus more on doing this and getting a lot more done. But we are all volunteers. We all have day jobs and families to look after and all sort of stuff. So yeah, it just allows us to get things like the actual production side of things done. We can sit here and stream all day, but we've got like a decade of content and special episodes to get out there as well. So I'd like to get a lot of that stuff out of the archives and out there for people to watch. And would be good to get as many of you can as you want to or can do, get involved. It's just like the minimum is like $2 a month, and you get anywhere from like an EP to an album worth of new songs every single day, as well as exclusive content. And that's just the beginning level. You can go up from there and see how you go. So please do check that out while we get out of here. But I've got another question from Tim. TC has gone, do Kiwi bands like Drag and Split Ends, My Sex, to qualify for the Australian Hall of Fame? If we make regional, like Tim said, you could do a regional one, so you can include Australia, New Zealand, and maybe some of the islands around the place, and maybe some of Southeast Asia. I don't know.
A lot of them are on Countdown, and a lot of people just talk about them like they're Australian bands anyway. So
we hijack them all anyway. If they're any good, we take them. If they're no good, we take them back. So, all right.
Alien weaponry are ours.
Sorry.
Alien weaponry, they're ours. We can claim
them. We're claiming them. We're fucking taking them in a heartbeat. All right. So Dean says, I can only imagine Dave's face if Silent Skies goes into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. He's followed that with if New Zealand is allowed, Noise Works. So there we go. If New Zealand is allowed, okay, there's a lot. If we start, we'll actually go and set some parameters, and then we'll have an actual conversation. It's a little bit more thought out about this one. All these ones seem to go a bit off the rails, and this is good. I love having the comments; it's great. But yeah, we just got to try and actually define it a bit because it just tends to go a bit fucking what, and then it's all good, love it, but it's just sort of like what the fuck? Where do we go next? Try to like have some parameters as opposed to none, which we've got right at the moment. It makes it a bit easier to sort of maintain. Speaking of the Patreon stuff before, a big thank you to our fantastic folks over on that platform. So Tim Caterson, Sonia Donabella, Lee McDonald, Conrad Collins, Jason Winch, Brendan Ellison, 16x9, Marty Powell, Sam Biondo, Track Vegas, Carolyn Mallet, Gwyneth Richards, Andrew Heyman, Daniel Bateman, Man Family, and Bell Wright. Thank you all so much for your support on that platform. Again, please check it out. There's a lot there to go through. You don't have to spend a lot, but you can. There's a lot there. So just have a look, and I think, Dave, I don't know, you can tell me or not, but I think it's pretty good bang for buck for what you get out of it. So
you get heaps of cool tracks each day, so you can keep up with what's happening. You don't have to go through. Well, I don't have to go through my emails. I just see what you send through. It's fucking great.
I do all the work for you, don't I?
But yeah, you put the links through. You can check out what you want. You get a write up. You get an update with what's happening for the show, what's coming up for the week. A couple of bucks, it's all good.
Yeah. Another one here from Tim. TC's in there as well. He's going to get on Patreon. Well worth it. Thank you for the kind words, guys. Do appreciate it. It is basically, yeah, we all work on it, but for me, it's the I carry the grunt, but I hate saying this because I sound like a fucking wank when I say this stuff, but I do the day job. I do all the editing, all the planning, all the fucking processing. So I spend a good 40 hours plus on this a week on top of the day job. So
and I've been at firsthand when I joined the show like 6 or 7 years ago. Man, you work your fucking ass off.
Yeah. I try. I don't always get everything done, but I try my best. I get what I can do. Another one here from Dean. Thank you. He's going to get on Patreon. Everyone's well worth it. So thank you for that as well. Bella says Rat Cat for Hall of Fame. Jeez, we're getting out there now. And Dean says John Paul Young. Andrew says Ted Mullery Gang. Sumo going 30 off foot of grunt. I don't know if 30 off foot of grunt are going to quite get there, but we'll give it a go. But yeah, there's a lot. Like, that's a good conversation. Bella says joke. So there we go for Rat Cat. Dean says, Andrew, done it all for a lot of years. We appreciate it. No, you're most welcome. I love doing it. I would drive my family nuts if I wasn't doing something. It's just a matter of trying to make it balanced. So I don't sleep a lot, so I tend to drive people around me crazy. You've seen that before, Dave. I've driven everyone.
You drove me crazy this week with these fucking albums.
I know. My pleasure in this context is it gets good viewing.
You gave me a day at work I'll never forget, that's for sure.
We'll get to the bin in a second. I want to hear your bin too, which you little.
I referenced earlier, yes.
Yes. What else? Man Family saying plenty of First Nations artists, Coloured Stone, Dan Sultan. There's a lot in that space too to consider as well. Dean is saying Dragon's another good one as well to think about. And Sherbet, maybe, I don't know. That's not a bad little idea there as well. Yeah, so from Sally, good one there. Andrew's going sleep. Yeah, you and I both don't get a lot of that, so there we go. All righty, so I've done the shout-out to the Patreon, so make sure you check out our fantastic sponsors as well. So a big thank you to Squidding, Screen Printing, Alt Cult, and Rockstar Finance. Their details are in the description box of the episode, so please find them. Give them a like or a follow or a share, whatever you feel like doing. It'd be greatly, greatly appreciated. Check out their stores and all that sort of stuff too. And for us, follow our details as well. They're in the description box too. Anything you can do for liking, sharing, commenting, all those little things you can do, they all help us with in terms of, the quote-unquote the algorithm. So it does mean a lot to us if you just get involved on any sort of social platform and just interact with the post if you see it, all that sort of stuff. It helps us to get, things growing in as much as we can do with what we do here at the show. So anything like that is greatly appreciated. All the details to follow us are there as well. And if you want to get in touch with us, we get a few different inboxes. The best way to actually contact us is to check out the email address in the description box if you actually want to get into contacting us. The best way to do it is via email. That's the one I keep the most idea on because, yes, by the way, I do all the social media too, and that's fucking a lot. I do less of that than I should, but it's enough. All right. Back to questions here. So Dean is saying Little River Band. That's another one there too. Mondo Rock. And TC is also saying Alt Cult have some awesome stuff, which they do.
Great shop.
Yes. I just got an email notification. Yes, get onto Alt Cult. They have fantastic stuff. They got a lot of cool things going too. They've got a if you get onto Alt Cult's page now, there's they're doing something where they're helping someone like be extras in a TV show or movie, something like that. I just saw a post that the other day. So yeah, that's pretty cool. Like they love the little community and stuff that they've got going on in there. So yeah, check out their store for sure. It's absolutely fucking fantastic. If you want any printing done, definitely head over to Squid Ink Screen Printing as well. They do a lot of great printing stuff too. So a lot of love for our sponsors here, and including Rockstar Finance. If you want to get your taxes sorted out, go and talk to them. Something I should probably do myself. Got a quick email notification. So, Tom, you've been here tonight. So I got the notifications joined up to Patreon. So thank you for that. Greatly appreciated it. That's I love having more people on board. So hopefully you enjoy what we do there. Thank you for joining us. And I will send you a message over the next few days directly as well. What else we got here? Dean says there is heaps. I agree. So many Australian artists to knuckle down on the Hall of Fame. Yeah, there's a lot there. Nicole says, missed the show due to the kid being a kid. Lol. We'll listen to it tomorrow. Thanks, man. I'm sure it was good. We had a lot of fun. Enjoy watching it back tomorrow. TC says, Rolf Harris ruined his chances. Yeah, I think there's going to be some sort of character bar that's going to have to be applied. Rolf Harris ain't getting anywhere near it. Yeah, more harm than good, that one. But anyway, fucking hell. Alrighty, I think we're done, aren't we? Anything else?
Nah, I think we're good.
Yeah. Make sure you check us out. We're on channel 44 in Adelaide in about 4 minutes from now. So we got our part 2 of our 1987 special edition, special episode. Sorry, that's on channel 44 in just a few minutes in Adelaide. On channel 31 in Melbourne this week, Dave and I will go through a bunch of new music. There's all sorts of stuff in there this week. There's some Cradle of Filth, some Troll Fest. I got both those in, man. There's a lot in there, actually. I could try and work out. Let me go through this, actually, because I've got what did we put in there? So you got New Horizon, Battle Beast, Australian band Red Bee, Striker, Flotsam and Jetsam, Svengali, which is with an awesome cover, Michael Romeo, Cradle of Filth, the Helicopters, Lagerstein, another awesome Australian band, which we talked about briefly earlier on, and Troll Fest. I didn't put Slash in there because I'm sure we'll talk about it, and we played that a few times. So I figured I'm going to drop one. That's what I'm going to drop because we have played that one before, whereas the other ones, not so much. All righty. Any silence, guys? I'm not going to put on the TV show. There are some, bars I won't cross unless we make it a theme kind of one. But yeah, we'll get to those ones later on. Dean says, I'll get some merch done by your sponsors, actually, and see how much they charge. Check out Squid Ink, man. They're pretty good. They'll do good work for you. So check out Squid Ink. All right. I think that's it. I'll go back to my notes here and the other one. Fucking, where am I? All righty. So I think we're about done. What's coming up this week is, we got that's coming up tonight and on Saturday night. Not Monday. Not Monday. Tuesday. Because Monday is Valentine's Day. We all have things to do that day. So Tuesday, we're going to be getting back to our Hard Rock Show stream on Tuesday night, not Monday. So Tuesday this week coming up. And we're going to be talking about the latest from Smoking Martha, Slash, obviously, and Girish and the Chronicles, along with a few singles and all the usual stuff as well. So Slash will be having a squirt fest over that, I'm sure, on Tuesday night, or at least Dave. Dave, the next listening will make you a lot happier, won't it?
I reckon it will.
I do balance it out in the end. I think you'll be much happier with the next list. So I'll set that up in the morning. Sorry?
Definitely.
Yes. So that'll be coming very, very soon. So just keep your eye on the social pages, like I was saying before, to keep up to date with all those sorts of things as we go on. But I think that's it for now. I think we've done all the details. End of the month is our this month is all to do with Armored Saint and underrated 80s metal band. So that's what's coming up at the end of the month. So keep your eyes peeled for that sort of stuff toward in a few weeks' time as well. That's it. Finally there. All right, let's get to our favorite part of the evening before we get on out of here and get back to bed because we've all got to work tomorrow. And that's time to go to the bin. So, Dave, what are you dumping in there tonight?
Snorting beer out of my nose. There is a story. And
All right,
it'll take about a couple of weeks to Australia Day. We had the barbecue. Yep. We were doing the slip and slide. Kids are having fun. I'm having fun. I was sore the next day because I'm too old for slip and slide, but fuck it, it's still fun.
Yep.
So, listening to Australian music and drinking some beer. Of course, Lagerstein comes on with Dig Berry Drink. Fantastic song, which my kids love. And we all do the pirate dance, which is a lot of fun to Dig Berry Drink. Okay, but when you've got a beer in your hand, when you shake a beer up, obviously it's going to start foaming. Like, the beer. Of course, a frothy beer that you're chugging, it's going to come out your nose. So it's beer, it's good, but snorting it out your nose, not so fun. So snorting beer out your nose, and probably myself in the bin for this week.
You're on a winner this week, aren't you? You're doing so well.
Yeah, a good week.
I'm gonna put the serious hat on for a second here. I'm just going to observe for my bin tonight the last 24 hours in Australian politics. For those who know me, they will know that I pay close attention ever since the government's been trying to kill community television. So it's maybe pay a lot more attention to what's going on. And the weaponization of children and minority groups over the last 24 hours when it comes to debate, in there. We've got a long way to go as a country when it comes to being a bit more progressive, a bit more nice to everyone in general. I just think that was a pretty deplorable page in Australian politics, and we can do less with that. Thank you very much. So in the bin for that stuff. Just be good to each other. It's not that hard. It's really not that hard. It's actually easier than being mean. So yes, please don't. But aside from that, maybe I should put myself in the bin this week for for the torture I put our fellow through. So yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not. So I put you guys through the ringer. So just on that note, I'll here we go. Just this doesn't happen very often. But
Head, bucket head.
Hey, you put him in the bin.
Yeah.
So that's what we're doing tonight. That's the bin done. What do we got here? A few more comments to get through. What do we got? So Dean says, get ready for Slash, Dave. I know you're very excited. Yes, he has been excited for quite some time. Valentine's Day music with Dave is Silent Skies.
I'm more exciting than that. Jesus Christ.
Tom says Slash is doing a live YouTube thing tomorrow. Okay, cool. If you're able to watch that one, yeah, get onto it. I doubt I'll be able to, but if I can, I will. Dean came to your bin. What the fuck, Dave? And Andrew,
it's one of those moments you wish someone was filming. I would have loved to have seen that back.
Yes, that would be funny. I want the video footage myself. You know what I'll do with it. And Andrew's gone, oh my God, yes, the LNP in the bin. Yeah, that was pretty fucking deplorable debate. And Dean's gone, Andrew, keep it on the new look. Do the next show like that. Dude, the sound sucks, man. I can't see my links, and it's a very boomy thing under here. So, that whole, I think you ought to know I'm feeling very depressed. Sounds much more.
Silent Sky.
So there we go. Dean says, yes, I'm watching the live stream from Slash Sunday morning. All right, awesome. Cool. Everyone get onto that. Is there anything else you wanted to say here before we get on out of here tonight, Dave?
I've said enough tonight, that's for sure.
Anyway, we've had some fun. Hopefully you've had some fun with this as well. We have different music for you coming up next week, so don't take this as the be-all and end-all of what we do. We'll have some fun with it, as we always do, because that's what we love to do here at the show. But back again more very, very soon. Our next stream is on Tuesday night. Check us out on TV tonight and on Saturday night in Adelaide tonight, Melbourne on Saturday night. And that'll about do us for now. So I think that's it for now. That's it. Yeah, let's get out of here. Let's get on. Let's get out of here and go back to bed and do all the stuff we've got to get done. So
got to work tomorrow. Yay.
Yeah, I know. A lot of fun.
No, fuck it. Let's listen to Flash tomorrow.
That'll make your day a lot easier, mate. Tomorrow's playlist will be a lot better for you, so you can enjoy that one, I'm sure.
Do it.
Alrighty. On that note, we're going to get out of here and go and set those things up. But thank you all for joining us. Really do appreciate your time tonight. And whenever you're tuning into this, and if you're not watching with us live, then I do appreciate you taking the time to sit here and take our antics in. Hopefully you've had some fun with it. Make sure you leave your comments whenever you get around to checking out what we do, because we enjoy hearing from you whenever you get around to doing so. But that'll do us for now. More again very, very soon. But until next time, I'm Andrew.
I'm Dave.
As always,
drink up.
And rock on.